Daria Curry, and I am the Demystified Herbalist. And this channel is for anyone that is interested in herbal medicine, the human body, the plant body, and the unique synergy that exists between them all. All right, let's get started on today's topic though, because I got some good stuff for you guys here today. And you know me, I got lists because I like to stay on topic and I don't want to get off, and sometimes I can just go off a side road and just be squawking. Okay, so when creating your own herbalist library, the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, what type of herbalist do I want to be, or am I now, or am I thinking about? And so there's many different types of herbalist, okay? And depending on which type of herbalist you want to be, that determines what type of information that you need to know, okay? So I've classified the herbalist in 3 categories. There's plenty more, but just for the sake of organization and time, I want to give you guys my 3. So the 3 that I'm going to talk to you about today are the clinical herbalist, the product making herbalist, and the kitchen herbalist. Okay, kitchen herbalists are herbalists that are, like it says, you know, kitchen. So pretty much just homebody, home-based type herbalists. They want to use herbs for just around the house type of issues, cuts, bruises, scrapes, scratches, common colds, those type of things. Okay. And so there's a certain level of information that you would need to know. So let's start there with kitchen herbalists. Now, like I said, I have my notes. I'm going to give you some general categories of books that you as kitchen herbalists need to have. Okay. So you need books that are herbal remedies books. You need basic first aid books. You need herbal first aid books. And you need basic anatomy and physiology books. Okay. And the reason why I added that in there is because it's so important that you understand the human body. You understand what's going on in the human body. You understand the body's triggers, what it's saying to you. Like I said, we're not symptom based, but you use the symptoms to kind of guide you and determine what the body is saying is actually wrong. And so you learn these things through anatomy, which is the structure of the body. That's the study of the structure of the body. And physiology, which is the study of the function of the human body. Okay. So basic anatomy and human physiology for the kitchen level herbalist is very important. Now, some books that I recommend for the kitchen herbalist, we'll start here with these 2. Now, I'm in Illinois, but it's good for you to find the field guides, and that's what these are, that are in your area. These field guides tell you what plants, edible or not, are growing in your backyard, in your neighborhood, okay? And in the field guides, it tells you, it gives you descriptions of what the plants actually look like. It also talks about where it grows in your region. I don't know if you can see it there, but it talks about where it grows in your region so that you are able to know exactly where to go find it. Now, why is this important? This is important to know because you want to be able to go and pick your own herbs, if you, at all possible, if you can. Okay, that is the best way to get the most potent herb. And the correct herb is to identify it yourself, pick it in the right season, process it correctly. And yes, we're going to learn all this on my channel. But this is the reason why you need this. And this is why it's important. Okay, so definitely get you some good field guides. And this is for all levels. Okay, now the next book, I love this book. I do. I swear by this book. If you are a kitchen herbalist, this needs to be in your library. I don't know if you can see it, but this book right here needs to be in your library. This is called Herbal Remedies, a quick and easy guide to common disorders and their herbal treatments. This book is by Asa Hershoff, okay, and Andrea Rotelli. Both of these guys are doctors, okay, naturopathic doctors, and they wrote an amazing book. Why do I recommend this book for kitchen herbalists? I recommend this book for kitchen herbalists because, first of all, it has the human body in here, general functions of the human body. This is like a get to the point, straight book, you know, and this is definitely for anybody beginning, but especially for for kitchen herbalists. Okay, so it has the human body, the basic functions of the human body. It talks about plants, the actions and properties of plants. This is a jam-packed book. It has herbal remedies, and it breaks it down by body system. So this will help you understand what herbs are best for whatever part of your system that may have some issues going on. The other great thing about this book is that it has a lot of herbs, mostly herbs from North America. So if you live in the North American region, then you can find these herbs. And that's another reason why I love this book so much. It has definitely blessed my life in a lot of ways and has given me a lot of information and has really catapulted my herbal journey and understanding and research of everything that I've been studying. So get this book here. All right, this next book is for, again, kitchen herbalists, but all tiers. You see what this says? The scientific validation of herbal medicine. This book right here, okay, it talks about disease, okay, herbs, vitamins, minerals, and not only does it talk about the human body and what goes on and what causes us to be ailed, it also comes from a scientific perspective. Like I told you before, herbal medicine is a heavily studied topic. It really is. And so this kind of gives some meat to that statement, in addition to all the other hundreds of medical journals that are out there. But this right here, this is the book that you need to get and read. It gives you herbal remedies. It talks about minerals and nutrients and all these other things for those that need that scientific backing. And this book has also given me more confidence because I know that herbal medicine is studied. And so it's like I said in the other videos, like, can we move on from that now? You know, just because you say over and over again that herbal medicine is not backed by science, you know, doesn't make it true, because it's not. And it is backed by science. Okay, so get this book. All right. Another book here that I would heavily recommend. It's a short book. Okay, it's a quick read, and it's called Toxemia Explained, and it's written by Dr. J.H. Tilden, who is a medical doctor who decided to stop practicing and move over more towards natural methods of actually healing and working with his clients. Okay, and so in his book he talks about there is only one type of disease. Okay, and he explains what that is, what the interpretation of that is, and this book is valuable. As you can see, I've been studying and researching this book. I love this book. This book definitely catapulted my research. But anyone that's just getting started, you want to have a good footing, okay, on what actual dis-ease is. That way you have a better understanding of how you can address it. So definitely grab this book. All right. Next book, and I'm not trying to go so fast. Forgive me if I do. This next book is called The Yoga of Herbs. Okay. And in this book, and this book is by Dr. David Frawley and Dr. Vasant. Okay. This book really helped me because I always had the question of how do I know which herbs that I'm supposed to use and which part of the herb that I'm supposed to use for whatever part of the body that I'm trying to deal with or trying to address. Okay. And this book was a game changer for me. It really helped me out to understand that you can use this part of the herb for this part of the body to get the top results. So this book I also recommend as well if you want to be effective and if you also want to just gain more knowledge in how to determine those types of things. Okay. Alrighty. So now we're going to move on to our product making herbalists. Okay. Product making herbalists are herbalists that simply want to make products to sell to the masses. Okay. So the categories of herbs that you're going to need, or not herbs, I'm sorry, the category of books that you're going to need are formulation books. Okay. You need some anatomy and physiology books, because even as product creators, you still need to know the functions and the structure of the human body so that you can create formulations that will work with the body and not work against it. Okay. You also need herb affinity books, And herb affinity is basically there are certain herbs out there, really most herbs out there, have an affinity for certain parts of our body, certain organs and things like that. So you can create your remedies around addressing specific issues in the body, let's say with the liver, and you can pick an herb that has an affinity for the liver. Thus, it will work with the liver and help the liver out. Okay. So you need books about that. Grab some of those. Basic chemistry. Everything in the universe is made up of chemistry. The way our body functions, the way the plants function, the human body, all of us is chemistry and chemical reactions. So that is the reason why you would need to know about chemistry. Okay, basic chemistry. And then you would also need a dictionary and a medical dictionary. The medical dictionary is just going to help you understand medical terms, especially if you're trying to create a remedy that is specific to a medical term. Okay. Now, what I would recommend is that you create formulas based on descriptions rather than using the medical term like diabetes, cancer, and those type of things. Rather than using those words, use words that are descriptive of those particular illnesses. Okay, that also keeps you out of the red seat, the hot seat. All right, so let's go to some books for the product making herbalist. Okay, the first one I'm going to talk to you about is this book right here. It's called A Clinical Guide to Blending Liquid Herbs. Okay, this book is by Carrie Bone. Okay, and this book is awesome for product making herbalists as well as clinical herbalists because it talks about being able to blend well, making good formulations for any liquid herbs, okay? Tinctures, decoctions, and those types of things. So, and it gives you herbal formulation strategies as well, which is awesome. So this book right here, definitely recommend that you get that. All right. The next book is this one right here. This one is Chinese Herbal Medicine, Formulas, and Strategies. Okay. This book right here is an awesome book. And the reason why that I got this book is because it gives you a strategy. It helps you with your strategy. Okay. And if you are creating products, you need to have a strategy. One of the things that you need to ask yourself is, what is it that I need this product to do? What issue does this product need to address? Okay. So you need to know that. You also need to know this particular issue that you're trying to deal with. You need to kind of know some characteristics of that as well. So you know that's what your formulas need to target, that specific issue. Okay. And so this gives you some great steps and tips on how to do that. It also talks about dosage and how much you need to give of what. Okay. Moving on. And the last book in this category is called The Essentials of Chinese Materia Medica and Medical Formulas. Okay. And this is another book that was really awesome because, and I really do use this book. Some of the herbs that are available in here, most of these are traditional Chinese herbs. And because of where I live, I'm able to actually have access to some of these herbs in here. But what I really love about this book is that it talks about different types of formulas. Okay, it's very specific on the different types of formulas, as well as ways to administer the formulas and the best way. So, tinctures are best to use for these type of illnesses, and decoctions are best to use when these types of illnesses. And so this really kind of laid it out for me in terms of how I best formulate. Okay, so this book right here, another one, a must-have for product makers, and there's tons more out there. So make sure you get that. Alrighty, now let's move on to my clinical herbalist. So clinical herbalists see clients, like I said before, and they assess any type of issue that they may have, and they recommend herbal remedies to help address those issues. So when you're at the clinical level, what I say to people is that you want to make sure, do you have to know everything? No. But you really need to arm yourself with a lot of knowledge. Your arsenal needs to be pretty in-depth, because you have someone's life in your hands. And you have to keep that in mind every time you research an illness or research a remedy or research an herb. to help someone else, or you try to get a plan together to help them. You really need to know what you're talking about. And how do you do that? You have an extensive library. You gain all the knowledge that you need to know in order to be able to help people. Like I said, you might not know everything, and that's okay. You're not going to know it all in 20 minutes, but you're not going to know it all in 15 years either. But you need to make sure that you know what you need to know in order to be able to help people and to facilitate healing. Okay, so the books that you need, like I said, are more extensive. You'll need all the other books that I just talked about, in addition to these categories of books. Okay, the foundational sciences, which is anatomy, physiology, chemistry, and biology. Okay, you also need to get some books on the blood. The blood is our lifeline. Okay, why do you think when you go to the medical doctors or the clinics, they actually take your blood? Well, the blood is a storyteller. It tells exactly what's going on in your body. If something is off, it tells that. If something is imbalanced, it tells that. If there's dis-ease in the body, heavy toxins, it will tell you what is in your body. So it really is best to get some books on the blood so that you can study that and understand how the blood is the chemical composition of the blood and all those types of things. Okay. Formulation books. Okay, you want to get books on botany, and which is plants. Okay, the study of plants. You need to know the anatomy and physiology of the plants. All right. Phytochemical textbooks are important because phytochemicals are the chemicals of plants. Like I said, a lot of everything is chemical reactions, and so we can use a lot of those phytochemicals in our own bodies to be able to help us. Okay. Traditional Chinese medicine text. Ayurveda text, which is ancient Indian medicine. You need text from those. And the reason why I chose those two philosophies is because of the way they explain it. Okay, they explain it in an easy way to understand. They help you to understand what dis-ease is and how it impacts the body and how you can read the body. That's very important because if medical equipment cuts off and electricity goes out and all this other stuff, you need to be able to, like they did back in the day, be able to look at somebody in their face, look at their face, their feet, look at their teeth, look at their tongue, look at the iris of the eyes. All these things are diagnostic measures that they used to be able to determine what was going on in the body. And so I was fascinated with that because I'm like, I want to know that. I don't want to know how to push a button and have the machine tell me what it is. I want to know that way. So that's the reason why I say that. Okay. And that's the reason why I recommend these books as well. All right. Legal books. Okay. And the reason why I say legal books is because there are herbalists out there, this is a thing, that have been charged with practicing medicine without a license. Okay. And this is a very serious charge. This is one not to take lightly at all. Okay. And so you want to make sure that if you are seeing clients and you are, helping them in any kind of way, that you want to back yourself legally. Make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. Make sure you have your paperwork in order. Make sure you have everything in order so that you don't get sued. Because if not, then you're going to have to stand before a judge and really prove to him that you're not trying to practice medicine without a license. Okay? So you want to be careful with that. So get your legal stuff in order and get your books so that you can understand the law and what your rights are and what you legally can do, what your realm and parameter is, and what you need to sit down because you can't do that. Okay? And I can tell you right now, anything that deals with the medical system, community, or medical doctors, you cannot. You can't use their language. You can't use their procedures. None of that stuff. Okay? That will get you in the hot seat real quick. All right. And then the last books that I think that you should get are pathology books. And these books just really talk about why we are sick or how we get sick. And so these books are important to know just so that you can analyze more on a scientific level about dis-ease and disorder. Sometimes this will help you out in your research, really, as opposed to you just taking on the full philosophy of that mentality. Okay. But it will help you. Now, let me get some books and show you some for the clinical herbalist that I feel will benefit and will greatly help you. Okay. This first one, legal guidelines for unlicensed practitioners. Okay, this book here. This book is an amazing book. It's by Dr. Lawrence Wilson. And every book that I talk about, let me say that really quickly, and descriptions and all that, again, will be down in the description box. So please check it out at the bottom of this video. It will give you what you need, okay? But this one right here, legal guidelines for unlicensed practitioners, okay? If you are an herbalist and you are a clinical herbalist and you are seeing clients, you are under the guise of unlicensed practitioner. Why? Because there is no licensing board that licenses herbalists. There's just not, okay? And because of that, you would be considered, from a legal standpoint, okay, unlicensed. So there's a certain way that you'll have to conduct yourself. There's certain disclosures and forms and things that you'll need. There's certain language that you'll need to make sure that you stay away from, so that you can prevent yourself from getting a lawsuit, okay? This book I say for clinical herbalists, but I also recommend this for product creators as well, just so you know in terms of how you package your products, what you say on your labels and all those things, and we'll talk about that stuff later, but you want to be careful of that, okay? So get this book, all right? Read it. There's plenty more legal books. This is just one of the ones that I bought, read, and recommend, okay? Now, this is Principles of Biochemistry book. It's one of the ones that I read to kind of help me understand biochemistry, okay? So feel free to get this. It is a textbook. It's very heavy, okay? But it just helps me to understand things on a biochemical level. So I would definitely recommend this book for clinical herbalists, okay? Another book, I'm trying to make sure my stack doesn't fall over. Another book is Netter's Essential Histology. Histology is the tissues and the cells, okay? This is very important because healing, or the lack thereof, always occurs on a cellular level, okay? And so you want to be able to understand how cells work and how they function in our bodies. And this is actually very good because it gives, you know, colors, explanations, all those other type of things to help keep you engaged in the information. But it is a lot of good information, okay? And again, this is Netter's Essential Histology. And Netter's actually has a couple of line of books that's really good. Before I talk about the last book under clinical herbalism, what I did, okay, and what I'm recommending for clinical herbalists to do to find additional books to kind of expand your learning is to go to a lot of these naturopathic schools, either online or maybe talk to the bookstore and get their book lists, okay? And this would help you know what kinds of books that you need to be looking at and what type of information, just to get you started. Again, this path can take you all kinds of ways. You may start one way and end up studying something, and now you're over here doing something else. I thought originally that I would be doing clinical herbalism, but then I turned around and loved research so much. I love this side of the fence. So it really just depends on you, okay? But I would definitely go to the naturopathic schools that, if it's in your area, or just go online and get their textbook list. And then you look on there and see if there's some books in there that can help you along your journey as well, okay? What I'm showing you, like I said before, is not an exhaustive list, but it will get you going, okay? It'll get you a good footing. All right, and then the last book that I recommend that I have, this is an old book. I told you I love old books, so don't judge me. This book is called Blood: The Biology, Pathology, and Mythology of the Body's Most Important Fluid by Earl Hackett. Okay, this book is amazing because it talks about the blood. Like I said, our blood is our life force, and it tells a story of what is going on in our body. So it's very important as a clinical herbalist to understand what's going on with the body, especially if you have someone go get blood work, you know, let's say from, you know, LabCorp or somewhere like that. It's helpful to understand what's going on in the blood. And so this will, not only this book, but there's tons of books out there on the blood, but that's just a subject that I believe that is very important for you to know. Okay? Alrighty. So, recap. Okay? Setting up your herbalist library does not have to be a chore. You know, you can find books along the way, but determine first what it is that you desire to do. What type of herbalist do you desire to be? Now, I'm a researcher, so as an herbalist researcher, I have all kinds of books from all walks of life at all levels because I'm always researching something. Okay, but someone else that, like I said, the kitchen herbalist may not need as much information. Okay, so and it's okay. It's just whatever level. Determine that and start gathering your books from there. Okay. Now, where do I get my books from? Let me give you that last little tip before we get out of here. I get my books from everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. I get my books from everywhere. Okay, I get my books from thrift stores. I get my books online from Amazon, thrift books, Abe books. I mean, just everywhere. Okay, like I said, I love a good thrift store book. I love used bookstore books. Okay, I get a lot of old books from there, which is good. A free online resource, archive.org. Okay, at archive.org, you can go on there and get a book, read books from the 1800s if you wanted to. Okay, and with those books, you can say, okay, let me skim through it really quick and see if it's something that I want. If you want it, then at that point, write the title down and then go to those other sites to actually get the book. Okay, I've done that for a lot of books. If I read one book and it referenced another book, let me go to archive.org and see. No, this book ain't really. I read through it. It's like, oh. Or I read through it and like, wow, this book really, I need this in my arsenal. So you go on your, other websites. Okay, let me order the book and go from there. So you can get books from anywhere. Just be open. And you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like I told you, I got 4 kids. So got to reserve my coin. But you can get your books from anywhere. Okay? So thank you so much for watching my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you can stay up to date on when I post videos like this. Okay? More informative videos to come. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.